Hey everyone, welcome back to the Prairie Grown Reviews YouTube channel. We review books, games, movies, and TV shows. And if you like this, go check out our website, www.prairiegrownreviews.com, for more stuff like this and more written reviews. Today, we review The Mandalorian, Episode 7, Chapter 15, The Believer. So boys, non-spoiler thoughts. Let's go into it.
I guess I'll
Matt?
start.
Yep.
It was a lot slower of an episode. I can't say I quite enjoyed it that much. I expected a bit more, I'll be honest. And just overall, I mean, there was some good character stuff, good character growth, but overall, just the pacing felt really slow.
Yeah, I gotta totally agree with that. We had a couple thoughts that we expected this episode, that direction it was going to take, that we expressed last week, and it totally missed that thought process entirely. It was fairly slow. We did get some really good character development, but my issue with the character development was it was characters that it doesn't really look like we're going to progress with or go anywhere. There wasn't huge steps for some of our more core characters that we really would have liked to see this episode setting up that finale next week.
Yeah, overall, I'd have to agree. This was definitely a bottom tier episode for me this season. I felt that it just, coming off the high of, I'd say, the last 2 to 3 episodes that were just really great, I just felt it kind of took a slower pace, and it was very different compared to the last season and how they ramped up towards the end. Like, it just didn't exactly mesh the way I wanted it to, and we're expanding to like an ensemble for these last few episodes. Yet at the same time, the ensemble wasn't really utilized this episode. It was kind of like a 2-man mission type thing. And there was some good character development for the character of Mayfeld. But like I just felt like I wanted more.
Yep.
And
I totally agree.
this had some good action scenes, a few, but this episode made me want more. And that's the biggest thing about this episode, wanting more.
Yeah, exactly.
So, that all for your boys' non-spoiler thoughts?
Yep, let's get into it.
Let's get into it. So we're going to go to spoilers now. Okay, welcome back. We're here for the spoiler section. So, yeah, to start off with, let's just start at the beginning. There wasn't a prison break.
No.
Our big prediction.
Yeah, that's
gone out the wind.
Yep. We got, for the second week in a row, we have a cold take of the week award to give out again. So that was, yeah, it wasn't the direction I thought we were going to go with this one personally. It wasn't awful. Like, I wouldn't call, like, we've seen worse from other series and stuff like that, but it wasn't quite the caliber of episode we've come to expect from The Mandalorian. No. But I do have to agree with what you said. There was a couple of good spots of action mixed in there that I enjoyed, but I think we missed on the prison break opportunity and sort of went a different direction.
Matt, would you agree with him on that? Or
pretty much.
What do you think?
I mean, like, our prison break lasted like about 2 minutes, and it wasn't really a prison break. It was literally just Cara Dune taking him out and being like, yeah, we have a job for you. And the prison break turned into like an infiltration mission, which I didn't see that coming. I thought it was going to be more of a prison break, and then Mayfield was going to lead him like straight like to Moff Gideon. But clearly that's not what happened. So
no,
it was just kind of disappointing, I guess.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, disappointing is like the big word. Like, I mean, last season, this is the penultimate episode, the second to last episode, and last season they were so connected, 7 and 8. And I know season to season is a bit different, but this one, like last season, it felt like a 2-part finale. This season, it really feels like they just wanted to hold you up before you got to that finale. Like, they were pulling you back a bit. Like I just felt like we were like, and yeah, like I said, there's some good action scenes, which we'll get into, but like, I just felt like, again, we were not progressing. We were kind of like slowly moving forward, but it wasn't the type of progression into the big finale that you want to see.
Yeah. So obviously with the season 3 coming, we know there's more content out there, but it almost felt like we ran out a little bit early. You know what I mean? Like, it almost feels like this, like there's some good stuff that happens in this episode that needs to happen for sure, but it almost feels like they needed like 20 minutes to push this episode to the finish line. You know what I mean? Like, it just ran out of juice in
This
the
could
end.
have been a short.
Yeah, literally. Like, you could have covered all that in like 10
15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Which is not exactly what we're looking for out of this type of a series, which is too bad.
Yeah, no, like, and you mentioned this in non-spoiler a bit without using names, of course, but the character of Mayfield,
yep.
Mayfield, he gets all this development this episode just to wander off at the end, like, to go by the character, and he was great this episode. He had great action. You felt like he had a character arc, some growth. You saw his side. He had emotion. I felt for him, and then he just, like, I thought he was going to stick around.
I was going to think he was going to stick along too. Like when they said he died, I thought he was going to be like, yeah, I'll stick along, you know, I'll help you get to Moff Gideon and whatnot. But no, he just like, you know, just he's gone.
Yeah, we spent the last 2 episodes building a team. And then, so that's what I thought we were going that direction too. I thought he was going to be the final add-on to lead into this big finale. And then he wanders off into the wilderness of Morok. And it's like,
stay tuned for season 3 when you find him again.
He'll pop up again. He's pretty popular.
We literally just left him on a planet with no supplies, no nothing. He just leaves.
With like, those pirates.
Yeah. Those pirates were nuts.
The best scene this episode was Mando on top of that transport thing, just beating up the pirates, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just
Mando? You mean that random stormtrooper? Just kidding.
Huh. Good joke, yeah. I guess that was a weird thing, too. Man was out of his Beskar for the first time ever.
Yep. And you can see how crappy the stormtrooper armor was, like, compared to Beskar. It, like, shattered when he fought those pirates.
It happened again, hey?
Apart.
Yeah. Like, shattering.
The explosive, like, almost plastic-like armor. It was weird, again, for the second time. I didn't think we'd see that again, but it keeps making its appearance. I
liked it.
Yeah, so did I. It's a little bit of an odd detail, but they've really been harping on that one pretty good so far.
Yeah, so next, another cool aspect of this episode, a positive, was we got a better look at like the inner workings of the Empire and like kind of like what the stormtroopers and Imperial officers are like when they're, you know, not trying to kill our heroes. And I just thought that was kind of cool, like seeing them sit and have a drink. Stormtroopers, like, for once, like, hero music showed up when TIE fighters came and saved Mando and Mayfield. Like, that was kind of weird. And the stormtroopers, it was like kind of we were rooting for them, which I just kind of felt was interesting. Like, it was cool to see them from like a different side when they're all like saluting them afterwards. Like,
yeah. It was like, as Mayfield said earlier, he's like, this is the first time you're happy to see stormtroopers. Yeah,
exactly. I think that feeds into our narrative of sort of that ever-shifting moral middle ground, right? As this show goes on, it's keeps giving us a little bit of a different viewpoint of where everybody sits along that line, right? So
now to bring up the biggest surprise of the episode, we got Mando, or more likely Din Djarin in this case, because he had his helmet off.
Yep.
But yeah, exactly, he had his helmet off.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm surprised he got
man went helmetless.
Like, his face must have registered somewhere then. Like, if he was able to like get in with his face like that.
I think the big thing was that it wasn't registered anywhere.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
It was
the only guy who knew him.
It wasn't scanning. I don't think it was scanning for whether he was Imperial or not. It was just scanning to make sure he wasn't part of the New Republic, right?
New Republic.
Okay, that would make more sense. Okay.
Right, which is why Boba Fett has almost no role in this in this episode. Why Fennec isn't there, right? And why Cara Dune couldn't go with, and why ultimately we set up that big scene with Mando having to go with, right? So.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes more sense now.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was just weird, like, to see his, like, I know we saw it briefly last season, but to see it for like an extended period of time, and like some of the reactions we got, like, because mostly his expression and like how he feels, it all comes from voice and body mannerisms. We actually got to see some facial expressions, which was really cool.
Yeah,
And I just found it neat to actually see him in this scenario, having a drink,
Yeah.
like something we've never seen him do. Well, he's obviously drank before, but we've never actually seen anything.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit, once again, for the third or fourth time this season, we've seen an ever expanding sort of character development scheme for Mando as we progress further along here.
Yeah, that's very true. Like you briefly mentioned, Boba Fett, Fennec, and Cara Dune were all sidelined this episode. Mostly, they had a good reason for it, but kind of sucked to have them. Like, I really wanted to see this team, like, and I guess that's probably what we'll see next episode, but I wanted to see this team taking on Imperials, just like mowing through them, because they're like all these masterful, like, warriors and assassins and bounty hunters.
Yeah, like it made sense, but it felt just a little bit cheeky to make it that way. And we didn't even get to see a whole lot of them in the roles they were supposed to play towards the escape plan as well. We saw a little bit, but I think that we could have seen quite a bit more than we actually got to experience.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that.
As a side note, I do appreciate the sniping. That was so much fun to watch. You just pew pew, and then
that was
dying. Good support, good recon. Appreciate.
Yeah, it made me think of Battlefront.
Job, right?
Yes, absolutely, special, 100%.
Yeah.
Same concept
for sure. What was? Oh, yeah. There's no Grogu this episode. Nope. That was also something. I had to think back, but he did not show up.
Not at all. Like, not even a little bit
at the end.
Nope.
No. When they actually flashed to Moff Gideon's ship, that's what I thought it was going to be.
So did I.
We were going to see him.
Yeah.
But that ending was awesome, with him relaying the exact same words used last season, right back to Moff Gideon.
Yep.
Just showing, I'm not afraid of you. I'm coming for you.
Yeah, and he's got one heck of a team to do it now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're building. I think we're building up. I think we're getting ready to go. But I don't know what direction we're gonna take here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're either this has got to be one long episode in my mind.
Yeah,
it has to be.
Either that or we get like the second biggest cliffhanger of all time.
Yeah, they're gonna only second to I don't know, what is the biggest cliffhanger of all time? Probably when Luke, it was Vader actually Luke's father, because people weren't sure if that was a lie or not. But no, I'd say this would be a huge cliffhanger if they don't get Grogu. What if he's still in Moff Gideon's hands?
Yeah,
But I feel like fans might riot because they don't want anything to happen to that child.
No. Well, I mean, aside from after he ate some eggs.
Yeah.
They got kind of pissed there.
That was incredible.
Yeah, that was weird. So this again, you mentioned this, but it wasn't as long as we expected.
No.
For the second last episode, it was 38 minutes, which isn't short, 40 minutes basically, but that's with 4 minutes of credits. So it's more like 34 minutes, which is closer to 30, which is like a half-hour episode of The Simpsons compared to
exactly
what we want.
Yeah, and that concerns me. That's sort of where my thoughts are concerning for this finale, because opinion question here, how long do you think this episode has to be for us to get a satisfactory end to season 2? From either one of you.
54 minutes.
See,
around an hour.
That's what I'm they've left themselves a really big task to accomplish in this finale, and maybe that's what they're going for. Maybe they're trying to go out season 2 with a total bang, accomplish a whole lot, kind of lower, because like you said, season 1 expectations just ramped up the whole way, right? So maybe they're trying to let us down a little bit and then just bring up the hype. I hope I'd really appreciate that.
I mean, I hope it wouldn't be the other way.
Yeah. Since we know there's a third season, I hope they're not doing the whole filler, just fillering up until the third season.
Just
trying to want that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I trust in the creatives. So, hopefully, they've other than a few episodes, these 2 seasons haven't been disappointing overall.
Not even.
So
No.
Not a
I
little bit.
I trusted them enough.
Yep,
But
exactly. I'd expect at least either some sort of we're gonna get somewhere next week, whether
But we
we
have to. Yeah.
whether we get Grogu back or not. We're not gonna have another boring episode, another flat episode. It'll
No.
be now. If I wake up Friday morning and I see that it's 34 minutes, I might have a little bit of a heart attack and like go back to bed,
yeah,
cry myself to sleep, and be like, "Oh God." But I mean, all we can do is hope. It's already written, it's already filmed. There's nothing anybody can do about it at this point.
yep. So big predictions next week. What's happening? Let's see. Nat, you first. Big predictions next week.
Obviously, they're gonna storm the ship, for sure.
Yes.
I don't know how they're gonna get close enough without getting blasted, because the thing is a cruiser, right? That thing is huge,
Yeah.
and Boba Fett's ship is not that big. So that, and they'll probably have TIE fighters on board too. So I guess I'd say about a quarter might be spent trying to get onto the cruiser itself. There's no way they're just gonna be like, hey, we're actually on there. There has to be something happening. They wouldn't let Moff Gideon wouldn't let them just hitch a ride.
No.
Definitely gonna be some big battle scenes, for sure. I hope. Hopefully Grogu makes another appearance of force choking the crap out of people, and then maybe Mando going all like, "Yo, that's not good. You should not be doing that." Some fatherly moments and whatnot. And then if there's a season 3, I'm guessing either Grogu gets back, starts training as a Jedi from some guy comes in, or Moff Gideon escapes again, which would lead on to another chase. That's about it, I think.
Austin?
I would like to appreciate that Nathaniel just managed to drop his finale predictions and his season 3 predictions all into one. That was great. I think the only thing, I have a couple points. The only thing I would say is we still have to get there, right? We still have to, I'm assuming they're not going to run into any trouble getting there unless the episode's going to be an hour and a half, but there's always possibility. We've always had, that would be amazing. We've always had a little bit of issue getting from point A to point B successfully, aka the spider cave. But
oh yes, don't even.
So I think Nathaniel's right. I think it's going to take a couple minutes to get onto the ship. I think that could have potential to have a pretty good dogfight scene or something of that variety. Now, how well they do if they actually got into a fight in the air, probably not that well. So I don't think it's in our best opinion. I think they'll try to go for more of a stealth approach. And then I'd assume there's going to be a pretty decent action scene on the actual ship, potentially involving the Darksaber, potentially not. We could see the Beskar spear whipped out here for a one-on-one fight, or that might be saved for next season. That's coming, any way you look at it. I got a hot take. This is my hot take. We see Grogu use the Force towards one of our crewmates.
Oh, no, I wouldn't be surprised either.
There's precedent.
Right.
Could, yeah. Yeah, no.
Whether it's on purpose or not, that's still up in the air. But with his Sith-esque Force chokes, I would say nothing is out of the picture yet. So, those are my thoughts.
I mean, for the most part, I agree with all of you. I really hope we see the Darksaber versus the Beskar spear. That's my number one hope. Here's where I differ. I think with Moff Gideon knowing they're coming, and this has precedent in Star Wars, he's going to let them on the ship. It's going to be a trap. He's going to have something planted. He's going to let them, not let them to the point where they know it's a trap, but make it easier so they can get on. And then they're going to be down for a while. And then I think something's going to either Mando comes up with some crazy idea that works, or Grogu maybe briefly I can't say that word right now. He briefly knocks out Moff Gideon or stops him, and then we got Mando who comes and grabs Grogu, and then we get the big fight. But my other big prediction is that at the very end, in the middle of the battle, maybe TIE fighters are getting released, and Mando and the crew, they're kind of worried. And then we just see a bunch of X-Wings show up because Cara Dune or something called the New Republic, and they're coming with reinforcements. And we see the pilots we've already seen, and they just mow through these, because in one ship, there's not tons of TIE fighters, especially not that ship. That's not the biggest ship we've seen.
Nope.
So I think we'll see that. And that's my big prediction. And I think we end maybe post-credit. I don't know. But I think the very last scene is we see a Jedi. Whether it's any of the Jedi we've talked that might show up, I think we see a Jedi, and that's it. That's the tease. Cut to black. Next season, it starts with them training. I don't know. Maybe even Mando learns how to use. Maybe he gets the Darksaber by the end, and he trains with that so he can spar with Grogu. Who knows?
Yeah.
But that's my big thing. I'd really love to see some X-wing battles, some space battles. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I would. That'd be pretty cool. Get that Star Wars Squadrons vibe going.
Yeah.
And it would fit with the fact that yesterday they just announced that they're doing a Rogue Squadron movie coming out in a few years.
Nice.
And it's going to be about X-wing pilots.
Sweet.
So, I mean, yeah, it's like 2 years away, but like getting
Yeah.
people hyped for X-wings and stuff, this
Yep.
stuff is planned way in advance. So who knows, maybe Jon Favreau and his team were like, we could include some X-wing fan service here.
Yeah, just like they
Okay.
sort of threw Ahsoka in there before dropping that show as
Yeah.
well. Get the
Exactly.
hype. They like to get the hype rolling early, so it wouldn't surprise me too much. So
Yep.
yeah, I could definitely see that for sure.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. So, folks, I'd say that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Hit that button to subscribe to our channel, like, comment, and ring that bell if you want notifications on our future videos. And from everyone at the Prairie Grown Reviews team, see you next time.